Hello guys. Yes, I'll tell you straight away that the title for this video is not clickbait. Shane and I are no longer going to be making content together, and the Lost Boys channel is going to be unfortunately finished. And we're going to talk about that in this video. But first, I just want to talk a little bit about what's been happening the last few months, give you guys a timeline on what's been going on. And first off, apologize that it's been so long since we've given you guys an update. It's been a little over 2 months since we posted our last video, and we've been posting consistently for once a week almost for 3 years. So this has been the longest that we've gone without posting. So apologize for the long delay, but Shane and I have been busy over the last few months and we haven't been able to link up. We're hoping to link up to make this video together, but we weren't able to do that. And I'll just tell you kind of what's been going on the last few months. So we came back to Indonesia in January after spending holidays with our family back in the US. And I'm sure you guys have been following along, but first we went to Jakarta towards the end of January. We went and shot the episode with Kick Andy, which was really cool. I'm sure you guys saw that and watched that. And then we also did a few other interviews and podcasts. And then we also shot some content in Jakarta. You guys saw us go to the landfill, Bantar Gebang, and also Chinatown. After that, we came back to Bali for a few weeks. And then we went on another trip back to Sumatra. So you guys saw we went back to Sumatra. We went to Riau. We shot a video in Pekanbaru. And then we also went to Bintan Island. So we shot some content there and traveled around there. And then we came back to Bali again. And then a few weeks after that, in mid-April, Shane and I went back to Java. We went and shot a video with the Department of Tourism. Hopefully you guys saw that. It was posted on their channel, but we shot a video in Bromo touring around by motorbike, which is really, really cool. And the Department of Tourism made a really cool video. So I hope you guys saw that. And then after that, at the end of April, Shane and I's families both came and visited us. So first, my parents came out here to Indonesia. It was their first time in Indonesia, and it was actually their first time in Asia, which is a pretty crazy and unique experience for them. So I took them around Lombok, and I also took them around Bali for a few weeks. And then after that, I had another good friend from the US who I grew up with also visit me, and he was here for a few weeks, and I also took him around Bali and Lombok. And that was pretty much all of May. And Shane also had some family members come out, different family members for different trips, and they were visiting him here in Bali in May as well. And then in June, he went to Thailand with his family, so we never got to link up. And then towards mid-late June, I've been really antsy to go back to Flores. As most of you guys know, I always say Flores is my favorite island in Indonesia. So at the end of June, I decided to go back to Flores for another trip. I got to go see the family and friends that we met there, our first trip there, which is really cool. I was so happy to go back to Ruteng and Bajawa. These are, again, like I always say, my favorite places in Indonesia, so that was amazing. And then I got to travel all the way across Flores. I went all the way to Larantuka, and then I also explored Lembata and Aranara, the two islands just east of Flores. And all I'll say is that this has got to be the most insanely beautiful place that I've been in Indonesia, just my opinion. And it's also got to be the biggest hidden gem in Indonesia because there's nobody there, man. I didn't really see any other travelers there. I rarely see people post content there. So all I'll say is that if you're traveling to Indonesia, whether you're Indonesian or foreigner and you're looking for an amazing place to go that is fairly hidden, I really recommend the eastern part of Flores and Lembata Aranara area. So that's all I'll say. So yeah, I got back from Flores last week, and then Shane has already left Bali again for another trip. So we haven't been able to, unfortunately, link up together. So I wanted to come on today and just give you guys an update and give you a video now, just updating you on what's been going on, and because it has been so long. So yes, the channel is going to be finished, and I'm sure everyone's question is why is the channel going to be finished? Why is there going to be no more content? So it's really just as simple as Shane and I no longer want to work together. We both have our own ideas and ways of doing things, and we've hit a point where we both kind of want to do our own thing. So there's a lot that goes on, doing this behind the scenes that you guys don't see. It takes a lot to, travel full-time together and also work full-time together. There's a lot that goes into making the content and producing the content, and also, growing the social medias and running the business. And it can be quite challenging, and it can often be challenging if you're, doing that as part of a team. So I think it's pretty understandable that, we hit a point where we just want to work on our own and do our own individual projects. So, I've talked to some close family and friends, and, most people, I think everyone knew that at some point this day would come that we'd want to go our own separate ways. And even in, other spaces, when you look at creative spaces like music or, where there's like a band or a group, they often split up. Or sometimes even in like business, when you see people in different business partners or groups of people running a business, and sometimes they split up. So I think it's fairly understandable but that we hit this point, and we're happily parting ways, and we think that's what's best for us at this time. So I'm sure people, want to know more juicy details and like why don't you want to work together, and so forth. And but it really is as simple as that. We our time is up. We no longer want to continue to work together and produce content together, and we want to go our own separate ways. But I really don't want to hound on talking about that too much. I really want to make this video about, for me, like what I think the positive parts of the channel were, and some of the great things that have come out of the channel, not only for us, but hopefully for you guys. But I guess before I go into that, the last thing I'll say about us going our separate ways is, I'm sure there may be many people that are upset, many of our subscribers, and some of our loyal audience who's very upset. And you guys need to work together. You guys need to continue to make content together. You haven't gone to these parts of Indonesia, or you haven't traveled outside of Indonesia together. And I know I apologize if you feel that way, and it's hard because as a content creator, you really do have such a big obligation to your audience. That's something for sure that I've taken really seriously. It's really due to your audience. Your success is due to your audience and their support. You owe everything to them. So the fact that we got this far is because of you guys. And I've always put you guys as a top priority, making sure the audience is entertained and making sure we're doing good things for our audience. And we always take you guys into consideration. And I've taken that very seriously. But at the end of the day, the number one priority is us. And if we feel that it's best for us that, we part ways and do our own thing, then that's what we got to do. Even though it may not be the best for all of you guys and everyone watching and everyone supporting, if that's the best thing for us, then that's what we have to do. So it's best for us that we split. And I'm sorry if you're upset, and I'm sorry if you were, been supporting us for a long time and you've been looking forward to more content. But I hope you can understand that that's what we've decided to do, and I hope you can respect our decision. So that's pretty much the last. I'm going to talk about that and talk about the split up, but I really just want to talk about, again, the good things that have come out of this channel. And I think like some of the things that I learned, and I hope you guys learned from the last almost 3 years. So for the first thing I'd say is, I hope everyone, at least took some inspiration from us to go out and explore and to go out and travel. And I understand, depending on who's watching us, if, of course, for our Indonesian audience, there's many Indonesians who can't afford to go out and travel, but by any means go out and travel. If you're fortunate like me to come from a Western country and have a higher salary and save more money, and if you can go travel and buy a ticket to the other side of the world and do it, like I highly recommend you do it. Or if you're from a country like Indonesia and you aren't able to make as much money, I hope you could at least save a little bit of money and get on your motorbike and drive to the next regency or drive to the next village. I hope that no matter where you lie, in the economic spectrum, I hope that you've taken from your videos that to go out and explore, because there's so much benefit to going out and exploring, and so much benefit to going out and traveling, no matter how big or how small. So I hope that's like one big takeaway is, as we've explored and traveled more, I hope that we've all learned like the benefits of doing that, and how great it can be and how many amazing experiences you can have. So I hope we've all taken away, that together from our videos. The second thing is, when you do go out explore, I hope that we've all learned that it's so great to be open to meeting new people. And then in terms of the people you're meeting, you want to meet local people to the place you're going, but also meet other travelers. I think, one of the biggest things from our videos, right, is that we always interact with locals. I remember like early on when we started the channel, I was just thinking in my head, we need to be able to interact with locals, and we need to be able to capture this on the video. Like I hope one day we can get to that point, and it's pretty cool that we were able to do that, because there's so much benefit to meeting the locals at the places you go. You get to learn about, you get to hear their stories, you get to learn about their life. It's really cool to be in a place and speak to the people that are actually from that place. I can't imagine traveling a country like Indonesia and not speaking to the people that live here. I feel like that's such a shame, that's such a waste if you don't get to do that. And those people can help you out, and those people could even give you advice on where to go. And there's just so much benefit to speaking to local people, no matter where you're traveling in the world. And man, I can't even I don't even want to name people, because there's so many people to name, but when you look back at all our videos and you just see all the local people we met and how many people, we were able to tell their stories, and you got to meet and you got to know, and a lot of you became fans of them during our videos. So, it's all the locals we met across Sumatra, the local friends we have here in Bali and in Lombok, all the way out to Flores. We just met so many amazing Indonesians that were so gracious towards us and had such interesting stories and great things to share. And it's really cool that we got to share so many of their stories with the videos and you guys got to meet them. And I think that was just such a great thing. And, hopefully we could all take that away. That is, when you travel, it's so important to interact and speak with local people no matter where you go. And then I think also it's important to meet other travelers. When you're traveling around, you're most likely going to meet other people that are on the road doing something similar to you. And, the prime example would be that we met Antonio. Like, we met Antonio at a hostel in Jogja, and he was by himself, and we invited him on the trip. And then he joined us for our content in Java, and then joined us again in Sumatra. And then, of course, in other parts of our videos, you met other travelers that we met on the road that were so great, and were also part of the videos, and we formed friendships with. There's just so many also great things about meeting other travelers. You can meet other travelers from other parts of the world. You can learn about them and learn about their culture and learn about their interests and hear their stories. So I think for me, that's like the second big thing from our videos is, if you're going out traveling, try as best to be open to meeting new people. It's something that I've learned over the last, few years traveling, and hopefully you guys have learned too. There's so many great things to meeting, local people as well as other travelers. And then I guess the third takeaway, which is a bit different and maybe not something that everyone gets the opportunity to do, but I think it's been pretty crazy that you guys have watched us, be here in Indonesia. And, you guys have watched us literally progress from not knowing too much about the country, not knowing any, like, Bahasa Indonesia, not being able to speak much of the language, into being here for the last, 4 years and being fairly assimilated with the culture and being, pretty good conversationally with the language. I think there's also so much benefit to moving to a new place, that's different from your home country, and learning a new language and assimilating to the culture. I think it's such an invaluable experience to be able to do that. I think it helps you grow as a person. I think it helps you have a better understanding, not only of the country you're in, but a better understanding of the world and a better understanding of culture in general. Now that I lived in Indonesia for so long and I understand the culture, I understand the way people think, and I see someone do something that I may not agree with, but I kind of understand the reasoning behind it. And now I can look at the world and see another part of the world and maybe see someone do or act or believe something that I don't agree with. But now I understand, because of my understanding of culture, that there's probably a reasoning behind that. So if you do have the opportunity to that, if you're from if you're a country not from Indonesia and you've been watching this, if you have the chance to move to Indonesia and learn the language and assimilate, I highly recommend it. Or if you can go to another country in the world, I highly recommend it. And, if you're in Indonesia and you don't have the means and financially can't obviously go to another country, if you can move to another part of Indonesia and learn the language there and learn the cultures and traditions there, I highly recommend it. And I think it's something that's, so beneficial as well. And for me, these are like the three important, I hope, takeaways that when I look back on the last almost 3 years, that's kind of what I take from, the channel and all the videos. And I hope that you guys, take all these away too. And when I look back on the last 3 years, like, that's how I want to look back on it, is, these great things that have come from the channel, and the lessons that I hope not only we learned, but I hope that the audience learned as well. And I got a list of stuff, so I'll make sure I don't forget anything. I'm sure people are wondering what's next for me. So what's next for me? So initially, when Shane and I decided that we were going to do our own thing, I was initially going to start a channel. I have an idea and a concept for another travel channel that I would do. But after reflecting over the last couple of months and thinking, taking some time to actually think about it, I've decided I'm not going to start a channel. I just guess I want to be, like, completely open and honest with you guys about what the pros and cons are of doing content, at least for me. For me, the best thing has been the community and the people that, we've got to interact with both in person and online, and, like, being able to, talk to you guys virtually every week through the videos. Just the community and the audience, that's obviously such a great thing that's come from doing content that I'm very appreciative of. I've also loved the creative aspect of doing content. I've loved editing, and I think it's cool, especially when you look back at the Sumatra videos, when you see the progression of the editing and the videos getting better and better. I love going back and editing, and we have all this footage, like all these GoPros of us driving and the drone, and there's so many things happening, but I love going back and being able to edit it and put it together and package it and present it in a way that's like entertaining to watch and makes you guys feel like you're part of the adventure. And it's a cool way to tell the story. There's so much going on, and how do I package this together and put it out? And I've really enjoyed the editing and the creative process. And I've also obviously enjoyed the freedom of being able to, man, we can just turn on a camera here and shoot a video and post it online, and we can make a living doing this and earn money and not have to sit in a desk job back in the US. So those are the things that I've definitely been, very appreciative about doing content. But I think there's also a lot of things that are, in my opinion, that I don't like so much. There's obviously there is a lot of pressure with having to share a video and be consistent, each week. It's good to share videos each week, and you have to be willing to, open up your life to other people and record yourself and get the video out each week. And, sometimes it's not always what you want to do, and it's not exactly natural. Not 99% of the world isn't filming themselves each week and sharing it with people. So I think sometimes there can be a little bit of pressures with that. So that's something I like so much. There's also the second thing I don't like is that it's a bit tough, trying to balance the traveling and the videos that you want to make versus what you have to do that's good for the channel. A lot of people say, that they work in an office, they're corporate slaves, but in a way, if you make content, you're still a bit of an algorithm slave, right? And you're a bit of a slave to, the vast audience on YouTube and trying to grow your channel. There's sometimes tough decisions you have to make. Well, if I make this video and if I go to this place and make a video, it'll grow my channel, but is that something I necessarily want to do? So it's a tough balance, and I think it's something that every creator for sure struggles with, and it's something that I struggled with. And some people, I guess they're good at playing the game, and I don't think, some people are good at just making the videos and doing really well, and maybe they don't necessarily care about what they're doing. They're just making the videos, and they're really looking at YouTube as like a pure business aspect. But for me, traveling is so important to me. It's something I really value, and it's sometimes hard to balance. Is this what I actually want to do? Is this where I want to spend my time traveling? And is this the video that I want to make and share? Or am I only doing this because it's good for the algorithm and good for the channel and good for the audience? So that's something tough to balance that I haven't liked as well. And then I guess the last thing for me, which is I guess the number one reason why I'm deciding not to make content, is it's just it's a weird space now with social media where attention is essentially a currency. Attention equals dollars. It equals money. And I don't know how I feel in a world where attention spans are slowly diminishing and getting smaller and smaller, where my whole livelihood revolves around fighting and competing for other people's attention to watch me. So it's difficult. I like making the videos, and I'm happy. I know like our videos have brought people happiness and joy, but at the end of the day, when you're making content, you're fighting for the eyes on you. And if that's what my, livelihood is based off, if I'm trying to make a living and earn money and support myself just by trying to get eyeballs on me, I don't know. It's something that I'm a bit conflicted with. So that's my reasons for, what I liked about content and what I don't like about content. And for now, I'd say that I'm not going to start a channel, but it's not, maybe I come back and decide to start a channel later on. So I'm not going to say I'm never going to do it, but at this stage, I've decided not to do it. And but I'd say there is a chance in the future, maybe next year, maybe in a few years, where I decide, I'll do travel content and travel vlogs again. But at this stage, I'm not going to be having a channel. So what am I going to be doing? Well, I'm not going to stop traveling because I love traveling. I've been fortunate to do a lot of traveling the last 5 years. So I have other trips planned and other places that I'd like to go. I'm, for the most part, going to be in Indonesia for the rest of the year, here in Bali. I forgot to say earlier, but I am in Bali right now. So I'm going to be in Bali for the rest of the year. I'm probably going to be in Bali early next year, again, doing integrated trips to other countries, and maybe Indonesia in between. And then I hope to move away from Indonesia next year. Next year, we'll have been 5 years in Indonesia, which is pretty crazy given the story of how I got here, which I'm sure some of you guys know, completely by accident because of COVID. But I think it's time for me to go explore and go try something new. I think it's time for me to go to a new country. I want to go to a new country. I want to learn a new language and kind of settle in a new country and almost do what I've done in Indonesia the last few years. I'd like to do that again in a new country. So my plan is to move away from Indonesia next year. And then, yeah, the plan will be to continue to live a remote lifestyle where I can earn money and continue to live in a different place and travel and not have to, sit in office and the normal 9 to 5 work life. So that's what's coming from me in the future. But yeah, I'm not going to be seeing you guys on any videos, at least for the time being. And yeah, maybe I come back to content, but for now, we won't be being able to interact with each other, which is a bit sad. But as I always say, it is what it is, and it's for the best. So I just want to take this time to thank everybody so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for just supporting us and getting us to this place. It's so crazy. Like I always said, Shane and I were just traveling around Indonesia for a little under a year before we ever decided to make videos. And then we decided to make videos, and in less than 3 years, everything that's happened. And when we started doing this in September 2021, I could have never imagined any of this happening. It's so crazy. So I just, first of all, thank you to the subscribers and to the followers, whether you joined us the first day we started or as recent as, this week or last month. Just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for the likes, the comments, the direct messages, the donations. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules each week to watch our video and join in on the adventures. It means so much to me. I appreciate it so much. You guys have no idea. Just thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. And I want to say thanks to the Department of Tourism and the other government people we met in Indonesia who supported in us and believed in us and, decided to make videos with us and promote us. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all the sponsors who have gotten behind us over the last few years. It's been so nice to have their support as well. And also not only support from subscribers, but the support from the Department of Tourism and sponsors that have allowed us to continue doing this. So, thank you guys so much. And then I guess the final thank you I would say just to Indonesia as a whole and to all the people of Indonesia. Again, like I said before, it's so crazy that I've been here for over 4 years now. Next year it'll be 5 years. Just given the whole story of how I got here, I never could have imagined being here this long. Like I said before, there's just so much, I think there's so much value to moving in a new place and learning the language and assimilating the culture. I'm so grateful that I got to do this over the last few years in Indonesia. And man, it's just to look back, like it's so crazy how much I can say I've experienced in Indonesia. Like in a way, I feel like I've experienced more in Indonesia than my own in the U.S., like in my own home country. I mean, obviously you've seen everywhere we've traveled. We're so lucky to have traveled so many places. We spend a lot of time in the rural parts of Indonesia, meeting the people in the villages. That's obviously where most of our time gone, but I've seen so many aspects of that in Indonesia. We've been in Jakarta and met, really wealthy people in Jakarta and seen the whole upper echelon of Indonesia. We've worked with people from the government and the Department of Tourism. I mean, we've seen so many levels of Indonesia. We've seen more of Indonesia than most Indonesians. Like we're so lucky that we were able to do that, and I feel so grateful for that. And it's insane. And I mean, yeah, I'm gonna leave next year, and but I think Indonesia will always be a place for me. I envision myself coming back here, frequently, and there's definitely a chance that I come back and move back here and settle one day. Obviously, I don't know for sure, but that's always a chance. But I think I'll be, continually spending time in Indonesia throughout the rest of my life. So I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful for everything that's happened, and I'm so grateful for you guys. So just one last terima kasih. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys so much. I wish you guys the best. Nothing but success and health and happiness. And until we meet again, maybe we do, maybe we don't, I'm not sure. But if you do see me around here in Indonesia, please say hi. Please don't be shy. I'm a friendly guy. You can just approach me and say hi. In Bali, if I'm traveling around somewhere else, in Jakarta, whatever, please say hi. So other than that, take care, guys. Bye-bye.